Right now, before you even realize you're doing it, your brain is scanning my face. You are deciding if I can be trusted. Not because you chose to, because you cannot stop. You've been doing this since the moment you were born. Measuring, reading, asking the oldest question the human brain knows how to ask. Is this person going to betray me? And here's what nobody tells you about that question. The reason you ask it is that your ancestors were very, very good at making other people ask it too. This is not a video about ancient history. This is a video about the thing you did today that you don't have a name for. We have a story we tell ourselves about ancient humans. We imagine them pure, honest, simple, loyal to their tribe, huddled around fires, sharing meat, trusting each other completely. That picture is almost entirely wrong, because 10,000 years before courts, before contracts, before cameras, human beings were already cheating each other, brilliantly, systematically, in ways so sophisticated that modern behavioral economists are still reverse engineering them. And the question isn't just why they did it. The question is, what does it mean that you still do it every single day? And you call it something else. Think about the last compliment you gave someone. Really think about it. Was every single word of it true? Or did you smooth something out? Round a corner off. Give just a little more warmth than you actually felt. We call that being kind, being polite, being a good person. Your brain filed it under the same category as lying. Because it is. You've done it today, yesterday, the day before that. The invisible thing isn't ancient deception happening somewhere in a cave 200,000 years ago. The invisible thing is you, right now, navigating the same social web your ancestor was weaving around a fire the night before a hunt. The only difference between you and them is that you have a phone. Picture yourself in a tribe of 50 people. No laws, no police, no receipts, no screenshots. You have a piece of meat. Your neighbor has seeds. You want to trade. The entire transaction, your survival, your alliances, your children's future, rests on one thing: whether he believes you. Now imagine you figure out how to bend that system just slightly in your favor. Not enough to get caught, just enough to eat a little better, sleep a little safer. What would you do? Anthropologist Christopher Boehm spent 30 years studying hunter-gatherer societies across the globe. What he found wasn't a world of noble primitives living in cooperative harmony. He found deliberate reputation management, calculated alliance building, people pretending to be weaker than they were, pretending to share more than they did, pretending loyalty they didn't feel. In the 154 foraging societies he studied, every single one had documented cases of social deception, political manipulation, strategic betrayal. Every single one. It wasn't aberrant behavior. It wasn't a deviation from the norm. It was the norm. These weren't villains. These were your great 10,000 greats grandparents, trying to survive, trying to matter, trying to make sure their children saw another sunrise. And they were brilliant at it, which means somewhere in you, that brilliance is still there, waiting for the right moment. So, ancient humans cheated. Okay, fine. We've established that. But here's the question that should bother you more. Why did natural selection allow it? Because cheating in a small tribe has a catastrophic cost. If you're caught, you don't get fired. You don't get a strongly worded email. You get exiled, or worse. The risk is existential. For a behavior that is risky to survive millions of years of evolution, it wasn't a flaw in the system. It was the system, and that's where this story gets strange. You've been told your whole life that lying is a weakness, a moral failure, a defect of character. In 1988, psychologist Nicholas Humphrey proposed something that should have changed everything, and somehow got buried in academic journals. He called it the Machiavellian Intelligence Hypothesis. The idea: human brains didn't get big because we needed to track migrating herds, or map geography, or build better tools. Human brains got big because we needed to track each other. Deception, detection, counter-deception. The cognitive arms race between cheater and cheat detector. That is what built your prefrontal cortex. The same part of your brain that writes poetry, solves equations, falls in love. It was forged in the fire of ancient betrayal. You are not intelligent despite the fact that your ancestors deceived each other. You are intelligent because they did. Let that land for a moment. Your consciousness, your empathy, your theory of mind, your imagination, All of it is evolutionary armor built to survive people exactly like you. Picture a 3-year-old child hiding a toy behind their back. They look you directly in the eye, perfectly straight-faced. I don't have it. You feel something. Pride. Maybe. Or unease, because you are watching something ancient and inevitable click into place. Developmental psychologist Michael Tomasello documented deliberate deceptive behavior in children as early as 18 months old, before complete sentences, before they'd been taught, before they could have watched and learned. The hardware was already installed at birth. In a parallel study, primatologist Franz de Waal documented chimpanzees concealing food from dominant individuals, walking directly past food they'd spotted, then circling back when the alpha looked away. Planning deception, anticipating discovery, modeling another mind's future beliefs in a chimp, in a toddler, in you. This wasn't learned behavior. This was inherited, passed down through millions of years of social survival. From primate to pre-human to the person sitting in your chair right now, you didn't choose this software. You just got handed the keys. But now a new question opens up. If everyone is cheating, and everyone knows everyone is cheating, how did any of it hold together? How did ancient societies function for hundreds of thousands of years without lawyers, without contracts, without surveillance? There had to be a counterforce, and there was. It was something even more powerful than deception. It was gossip. You've been in that conversation, where someone leaned in and lowered their voice, and before they said a single word, you felt it. That electric charge of shared information, that hit of, I know something you don't. You didn't feel guilty. You felt alive. Evolutionary psychologist Robin Dunbar, the man who gave us Dunbar's number, proposed that language itself evolved primarily for gossip, not for coordinating hunts, not for naming animals, for talking about each other. He found that in modern humans, approximately 65% of conversation time is spent on social information. Who did what? Who broke a promise? Who can be trusted? Gossip was the ancient internet, the original reputation system, the mechanism that made large-scale cooperation possible among animals with no natural loyalty beyond blood. Every time you pass along a warning about someone, every time you whisper, "Be careful with him," you are doing exactly what your ancestor did around that fire. You are maintaining the web. You are enforcing the contract. You are the system. For most of human history, the cheating had limits. You cheated inside a tribe of 50, maybe 150 people. People you knew by name. People whose children played with your children. People you would see tomorrow. And the day after. And the day you died. The stakes of deception were personal, immediate, human. If you broke someone's trust, you felt it. In their eyes at the fire, in the silence when you walked past, in the way the meat was divided that evening. Accountability was built into proximity. But then something happened. Cities, millions of strangers, digital identities, anonymous platforms designed to reward performance over truth. We took the ancient cheat and detect system, the one calibrated for 150 people, and dropped it into a world of 8 billion strangers. The cheating didn't stop. It scaled. The lies got bigger. The manipulation got automated. The deception became an industry. Advertising, algorithms, political theater, and you, with your ancient brain, your gossip instincts, your cheat detection hardware, you are not built for this world. None of us is. Because what we lost wasn't innocence. We were never innocent. What we lost was consequence, the look in the eye, the shared fire, the village that remembered. We lost the world, small enough that your lies had a face. And without that, we don't become more dishonest. We just become more alone.